The year was 1944. Europe was burning. Nazi Germany, though reeling from Allied bombing and the loss of key territories, was far from finished. In secret laboratories and hidden underground tunnels, German scientists were working on something that, if completed in time, could have rewritten the outcome of the war. A weapon so far ahead of its time that even today it seems pulled from the pages of science fiction. It wasn't the jet fighter, nor the V-2 rocket, both terrifying innovations in their own right. This was something more extreme, something the Allies feared but didn't fully understand. A superweapon the Nazis called Die Glocke, the bell. Rumors of this mysterious device would surface decades later, pieced together from classified files, testimonies, and forgotten military reports. Some claimed it was a form of anti-gravity technology. Others believed it was a prototype nuclear energy device. Whatever it was, one thing seemed certain. If it had worked, it might have changed the course of World War II. But before we dive into the enigma of the bell, we have to understand the world Germany found itself in during the war's final years. By late 1943, Hitler's dream of a 1,000-year Reich was crumbling. The Allies had invaded Italy. The Soviets were advancing from the east. Germany's once mighty Luftwaffe was losing air superiority, and resources were vanishing faster than they could be replaced. Desperation fueled innovation, and in the dark corners of the Third Reich, Hitler turned to his scientists with an unthinkable order: create miracle weapons, Wunderwaffe, that will save Germany. From that demand came a wave of inventions. The Me-262 jet fighter, the first of its kind. The V-1 flying bomb and the V-2 rocket, precursors to modern ballistic missiles. But one project, hidden even from most of the SS, stood apart. It was led by a brilliant, secretive scientist named Dr. Hans Kammler, an SS general who oversaw Nazi research and construction programs. Kammler was no ordinary officer. He was ruthless, efficient, and completely loyal to the Nazi cause. He had access to the Reich's deepest secrets, including the development of the V-2 rocket and underground bases beneath the Sudeten Mountains. In 1944, Kammler shifted his focus to a strange device being built deep in a facility called Der Riese, or the Giant, near the Wenceslas mine on the Czech border. The object of his obsession was Die Glocke. Eyewitnesses who later came forward described it as a large metallic bell, roughly 12 to 15 feet tall, 9 feet wide, and made of a heavy, silvery metal. Inside were two counter-rotating cylinders filled with a mysterious violet substance called Zerum-525. When activated, it emitted intense radiation, strange light, and a deadly electromagnetic field. Some said it caused plants and animals to disintegrate instantly during early tests. Others claimed it warped time itself, bending gravity and distorting space around it. Polish intelligence reports after the war described how several scientists working on the project died during experiments. Their bodies decomposed rapidly, and their remains were buried in concrete to contain the radiation. Whatever the bell truly was, the Nazi high command believed it could give them ultimate power, perhaps even the ability, to create flying craft that defied gravity, or new forms of energy that could turn the tide of war. But Allied intelligence had little knowledge of what was happening deep in those mountains. British and American bombers were targeting factories, railways, and refineries, not secret bunkers buried beneath layers of rock and concrete. Meanwhile, Kammler's team pushed forward under immense pressure. Hitler himself demanded progress reports, desperate for a superweapon to strike back. But time was running out. By early 1945, as Soviet forces advanced toward Berlin, Kammler gave the order to destroy all traces of the bell. Documents were burned. Scientists were executed or vanished. And the bell itself, according to legend, disappeared. Some claimed it was loaded onto a massive aircraft or submarine and sent to South America, where Nazi scientists continued their work in secret. Others believed it was captured by the U.S. under Operation Paperclip, disguised as a scientific research artifact and shipped to a hidden base. And a few, more fantastical theories suggested it never left, that it was hidden deep underground, still buried beneath the ruins of the Third Reich, humming silently to this day. As the war ended, Allied troops uncovered vast networks of tunnels, laboratories, and abandoned machinery throughout Germany and occupied territories. They found blueprints for experimental aircraft shaped like flying saucers, records of plasma propulsion, and notes referencing the mysterious bell. The truth was, Nazi Germany had been experimenting with technology decades ahead of its time, and the bell, whatever it was, stood at the center of it all. But before dismissing it as mere legend, consider this. After the war, both the United States and the Soviet Union launched massive secret programs aimed at replicating German research. The race for rocketry, jet propulsion, and atomic energy all stemmed from Nazi archives. And yet, some of the most classified projects, those involving gravity manipulation and high-energy physics, mirrored the descriptions of Die Glocke. So, was it real? Or just a myth created by fear and imagination? Part 2 will take us deeper into the files of Operation Paperclip, the strange disappearances of key Nazi scientists, and the chilling possibility that the bell may have been more than science fiction. Because if what witnesses claimed is even partly true, then the Nazis may have come dangerously close to unlocking the power to reshape the world. When Nazi Germany collapsed in 1945, chaos ruled the final days. Cities lay in ruins, the Reich crumbled, and Hitler was gone. But amid the ashes, one question haunted Allied investigators. Where had Hans Kammler and the bell disappeared to? Kammler's fate remains one of the greatest mysteries of the war. Official records say he died by suicide, but no body was ever found. Some testimonies claim he was captured by the Americans. Others suggest he struck a secret deal, trading advanced technology, and possibly the bell, for his freedom. What makes this theory compelling is what happened next. In the years immediately after the war, the United States launched Operation Paperclip, a covert mission to recruit top German scientists. Men who had once worked for the Nazi regime were quietly brought to America, given new identities, and absorbed into U.S. military and aerospace programs. Among them was Wernher von Braun, the mastermind behind the V-2 rocket. His team's research would eventually form the foundation of NASA's space program. But von Braun wasn't the only one with secrets. Other less-known scientists, physicists and engineers tied to Kammler's research division, were also taken. Many of their files were classified, and much of their work vanished into the vaults of the newly formed CIA and Department of Defense. In the late 1940s and 1950s, strange sightings began appearing across the United States. Unidentified flying objects, saucer-shaped, silent, and capable of sudden acceleration. The government denied everything. But to some, the connection was obvious. The technology behind. The bell had resurfaced, re-engineered under American control. Polish journalist Igor Witkowski later uncovered documents referring to Die Glocke while researching Nazi secret weapons. He described it as a type of high-energy propulsion experiment, involving rotating mercury plasma and electromagnetic fields, eerily similar to modern theoretical concepts for anti-gravity drives. Even American scientist Nick Cook, an aerospace journalist, was intrigued. In his investigation, he found evidence that U.S. military laboratories had indeed experimented with field propulsion systems after the war, projects that mirrored Kammler's descriptions. Could it be coincidence? Or was Nazi Germany truly on the edge of discovering something revolutionary? Many historians still doubt it. They argue that the bell was simply a chemical or nuclear experiment, perhaps an early attempt to enrich uranium or harness zero-point energy. But the truth is, no conclusive proof has ever been found. Every record connected to Kammler and Die Glocke was destroyed, hidden, or locked away. Yet, scattered clues remain. In the mountains of Poland, near the Wenceslas mine, there stands a strange concrete structure, a massive circular frame nicknamed the Henge. Locals believe it was the test rig for the bell. Its design fits the descriptions: thick pylons, large enough to suspend a heavy, rotating object. Despite decades of research, its true purpose has never been confirmed. Even more curious are reports from South America. In Argentina and Chile, countries where high-ranking Nazis fled after the war, residents in the 1950s described mysterious lights in the sky and strange aircraft unlike anything seen before. Coincidence? Maybe, but these sightings began just as rumors of secret Nazi bases in the Andes were spreading. Then there's Antarctica, a place long shrouded in myth. In 1946, the U.S. launched Operation High Jump, a massive naval expedition officially meant for training in cold climates. But conspiracy theories suggest otherwise. Some believe it was an attempt to locate hidden Nazi installations, possibly where the bell had been transported. The mission ended abruptly after several months with reports of unexpected resistance and damaged aircraft. Though there's no hard proof, the timing and secrecy have fueled speculation ever since. Whether the bell was an anti-gravity engine, a weapon of unimaginable power, or simply a scientific experiment gone wrong, one thing is undeniable: Nazi Germany pushed the boundaries of technology in ways the world wasn't prepared for. The jet age, the space race, and the Cold War arms race all trace back to the innovations and horrors of the Third Reich's research. But perhaps the most chilling thought is this: if the bell truly worked, even for a moment, it means humanity touched something beyond our understanding, a force that could manipulate space, gravity, or time itself. And that knowledge didn't just vanish. It was absorbed, repurposed, and buried under layers of military secrecy. Today, declassified files continue to emerge, hinting that wartime German research into exotic propulsion and energy systems directly influenced later U.S. projects, from Area 51 to the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The physics of plasma propulsion, magnetic levitation, and high-energy ion drives all echo fragments of what the bell was said to do. So maybe, just maybe, the Nazis were on the brink of discovering something extraordinary, something that could have changed the war and perhaps the world itself. And while the bell remains shrouded in mystery, it serves as a chilling reminder of what desperation, ambition, and unchecked power can lead to. For even if it never truly flew, it showed how far humanity would go in its pursuit of dominance, and how close we might have come to opening doors we were never meant to open.